This is Dave Lombardo from PHILM. Get your horns up.
Show in New York with your new album.
Yes,
you
first
were
show.
Here. Actually, I think one of the first shows you did was at the Gramercy Theater with the Metal Masters.
Yes.
With PHILM.
Well, it wasn't PHILM's first show on the East Coast,
right.
Yes.
What are some of the memories from that night? Because you were with a lot of your friends, and of course you were kind of...
my bass player smoking weed in the basement and, setting off the fire alarm and shutting the whole stage down. Yeah, that's my bass player. That's what I remember from that show. I mean, it was a great show. Our performance was on point. It was a great night.
And then, what are some of the challenges you faced when you're doing a bigger band versus something like PHILM that is more like an acquired taste?
Well, what are the challenges?
Yeah.
Well, the challenges, I mean, there's really not much. The creativity process is fairly easy. For this band. It's we write together. It's not like one person coming in and bringing solo material. Everybody contributes. So it's a collective effort. It's a lot of fun playing in a band like this, whereas I was used to playing, larger venues. When actors, when they, want to, scale it down, brush up on their performance, they take their acting to Broadway. For me, I feel that a musician of all levels, should always come down and play the clubs. I think that's very important.
And that's something that you've definitely done through your career, whatever you wanted to do, really.
Yeah. It's, whether it's a big stage or small stage, for me, it doesn't matter. I'm doing what I love, and that's playing drums, So that really isn't much of an issue for me.
And take us around that time when you were a kid and you found your love for the drums.
I'm sorry?
When you got turned on by the drums as a kid, when was that? Where were you? What was the situation?
Shit, man. I think I was in my mother's womb, when I got interested in drums. I don't know. It's something, cultural. I was raised in a home where, dancing and music, was embraced. Of course, like a lot of Cuban families, I'm sure they loved, pretty much the same lifestyle. So, I don't know. It's really hard to say when that moment was that sparked, my love for drumming. It's very innate. It's inside of me. It lives. It thrives. It's something that I don't see, stopping anytime.
Are there a lot of things that you do second nature, and then this when you realize you're a virtuoso?
Yes. Usually,
second nature.
I don't know what it is. It's just maybe the drive, the energy, the passion. Playing fast, playing hard is second nature for me. That's something that I really love and enjoy.
And how challenging is it to take the drummer role versus the producer role? Because with PHILM, you're more involved in the production aspect. Is it hard for you to do that?
It's not. I step out of the drummer role, and then I step into the producer role. And then I kind of have to find this balance, and I have to make sure that one doesn't overpower the other. I have to let myself be the artist, and then let the musicians be the artists as well, and try to bring out their best performance and best, ability, and try to capture the best track as possible when, not the best track, their best take as possible for the song.
And why PHILM? Right now you could be playing in any band in the world. What is it about the guys from PHILM that you just love being on stage with?
It's freedom of creativity. If I jump into any other band, they'll put me on a salary, and I'll have no creative process, creative control. Just here, play these songs, and that's it. You become part of this machine. And at this level, I'm part of the creative process, the production, part of, all the decision making, and that means a lot to me. It's a lot of fun when it's like that.
You kind of remember Max Cavalera. He's the type of guy that also just wants to play music. He doesn't want to deal too much with the politics and the country. Just kind of play music.
Yeah, I could understand that. I feel that as well. There's a lot of, politics and shit that musicians have to deal with. And I just think that, if that didn't exist, it'd be great. But unfortunately, like every job, you got to deal with certain aspects of it, that, aren't generally conducive to your artistry, but you just have to do it. Set it aside and move on.
And I just saw that you guys are going to be going to Europe with PHILM. Pretty extensive run. Any other plans? Any other thing like exciting that's coming up?
Well, we're doing a 25-day tour of Europe with no days off. We've been, asked to do several other shows, throughout the world. Possibly going back to South America. It seems like Latin America, embraces this band. Obviously, because there's 2 Spanish-speaking members, so I think that, I think it's awesome. I love it. It's great. It's a lot going on. Always something around the corner, something new happening.
Have you ever played in La Habana?
Never. I've never played in my home country. I will one day. Hopefully soon. This year, I hope to go back to Cuba. First time in 48 years.
And hopefully that will happen now that there's actually the U.S. is realizing how important Cuba is to the whole.
Yeah, we could travel there, and I heard Netflix is available in Cuba. It's like, wow, this is awesome. So I'm happy for the Cuban people, and it's long overdue. It really sucks, that it's taken this long. But,
yeah, maybe they'll get to watch this.
Right? Can you imagine?
And I know you're a father. What are some of the things you tell your kids if they're interested in music, as far as like, let's say, politics versus like the artistic part of music?
No, I don't really. They see enough of the politics. They experience that themselves, and witnessed it, But I think that what I tell them is to stay creative, stay open-minded. Never think that you're better than anyone else. Don't ever become that pompous, arrogant musician, that can't acknowledge, fans that have supported you, for many years. You just have to be cool, man. Stay cool.
Be cool. Any crazy stories?
Always. There's always stories, man. There's always shit that happens. This band, I think, PHILM, in general, we're very, we play jokes not only on each other, but on friends, fellow bandmates, and, there's always something going on. I can't think of anything right now. Maybe if the guys were all here, remember that time we did this? And, sometimes we'll have drinks, and who knows what happens from the moment we leave the bar to the hotel. There's all kinds of shit that happens. So it's a lot of fun. We just make sure to have a lot of fun at what we're doing.
What is the hardest lesson you've learned in the music business all these years doing this?
Every day is a lesson, man. There's all kinds of things you learn. Always. There's always something around the corner that keeps you, it keeps you sharp and on point, and that you have to, you have to make sure that you... In other words, you don't leave any stone unturned. You have to make sure that everything's on point.
Cover all your bases?
Cover all your bases, yeah.
And of course, we have to go about Jeff Hanneman, the legacy he left behind. What was it so special about being with him so personal? Because you're obviously one of the persons that knows him the best. The people watching here are always asking, like, what is it about Jeff that not only stood him out as a musician, but as a person, as a friend?
Well, I mean, what was cool about Jeff, he never liked to do interviews. He was very mysterious. He liked to stay backstage. He likes to stay on the bus, and just chill before the show. He never went inside. It was rare that he went inside the venue before the show, unless we had to sound check. He's just, everybody knows he was a great guy, and he's sorely missed. He's definitely a person that we wish all wish that he was still here with us.
Every time we try to carry on.